Hello everyone, I'm Hendrix. And if you are watching this video, you've stumbled across my new channel called Hendrix Sports Gaming. Here is where you will find all my video creations related to the world of sports video games. I've been a sports video gamer for quite some time now, several decades, going all the way back to my days on the Atari 2600. I was only 7 years old, but these are some of the fondest memories I have in my early days, my first gaming experiences. I remember playing Atari basketball. It was a simple game, 1 versus 1, sprite graphics, mechanics, nothing more than just picking up the joystick and pressing the red button to shoot. It was simple. I would play my older brother all the time. It was my first experiences playing someone head-to-head in a game. Sometimes he would win, but then other days I would too. And then in later years, we graduated to the Commodore 64 home computer. My dad brought it home. I wasn't that interested at the time, but he told me he had a game for me to play. And he pulls out this cassette, pops it in the cassette deck, presses play. It takes about a half hour to load, but when it does, oh boy, I'll tell you what, it changed everything for me. This game loads up, and wow. It's called Summer Games. It's the Olympics. Multiple events. Very similar to Decathlon by Activision, if anybody remembers that game. But you could type in your name, choose a country, and lead your team to a gold medal. You could have parties, up to 8 players, I think. It was tremendous fun. In later years, a company called Accolade started making some pretty good games, sports games for the Commodore. Games like Hardball, 4th and Inches, Fast Break. We ended up getting Hardball first, and man, that was some of the best graphics I had ever seen in a game. Then 4th and Inches comes out, and it's team football. It's not just 2-on-2 or 3-on-3. It wasn't 11-on-11, but it was probably 9-on-9. Me and my friends would have sleepovers and come over and have parties, have tournaments, create your own teams. Oh yeah, we had a blast playing that. We'd just play all night, beating each other up on 4th and Inches football. My friend would intercept me in the end zone, and man, I would get mad. I'd want to throw my pop. But that's just the way it was back then. That was gaming. Alright, well, while there's so much to tell and so many generations to cover, I won't get too bogged down in the specifics of the past. So most of the content that I will be bringing to you will be captured via CPU versus CPU. That's AI versus AI. And how that's done is you go to the controller selection screen, move it to the center. That way the CPU is controlling both teams. And I know what you're probably going to say. You're probably going to say, why would you want to play the game like that? You're not even controlling the gameplay. How much fun can that be? Well, as I've stated before, I've been playing these games for decades. And I've won a lot of championships and rolled up unrealistic stats on the CPU. And I guess I'm looking for something different. And that something different comes in the form of CPU versus CPU gameplay, where I have no control over the outcome of the game. The players control the outcome. The coaches control the outcome, assuming that CPU versus CPU doesn't allow you to affect that. But I really like roster management, being a general manager. I like getting involved in coaching sometimes, but it's really exciting when you can just create a roster and let the game decide what happens. Let the game decide the outcomes. It's also a great way to kind of test the AI and see just how well built a game is under the hood. And since I grew up in a time when games weren't really that realistic, they didn't have good graphics and they didn't have very good gameplay most of the time, I'm really excited about 2023, what the new hardware and what new coding methodologies can bring, just basically how good games could be today. I want to see that these games represent their sports. Does football look like football? Does basketball look like basketball? Does baseball look like baseball? I really want these game developers and these game companies to test the boundaries of what their machines can do. Some games are better at emulating their sports than others. and that'll be the subject of many a critique video. So I want to emphasize that will be what the critique videos will be about. How well the video game represents the sport, not so much how good gameplay is or how fun gameplay is. That's a subject for another video perhaps, and probably not by me. Okay folks, well that's about all I have today. I hope you will be joining me on this journey. This is Hendrix, signing off.